the psychedelic culture and the new age is starting to also merge. Before, psychedelics were of their own like category, but now
Yeah,
they're definitely being more associated with this new age. It's definitely been happening more. So, wonder if we should touch up on our
yeah,
thoughts on that in this episode.
yeah. I mean, it's like it's the psycho spirituality where people uh, are kind of use psychedelics to like bypass, like to spiritually bypass certain aspects of themselves, or they they think like the psychedelics are the key to the spiritual experience. And I mean, yeah, I had like spiritual experiences on psychedelics and had epiphanies and like insights on them. But I, yeah, I mean, that's doesn't mean that it's the right path or the right thing to be doing. Like I said earlier, sometimes it's just like normal people just from like life experience will just like say like the most mind blowing thing to you in like a brief meeting with them, brief interaction. You're just like, wow,
Some of the most high conscious people are out there hiding in plain sight, doing
yeah,
jobs we don't want to do.
yeah. But it's I mean, I can think of like my brother, for instance, like he's never in psychedelics or anything, but like, sometimes when I talk to him, he has like really good perspective on things that like I wouldn't have really thought of. It's just like, I mean, that's really what can happen. Thing whenever you have a different perspective, but he's not into like, all like the super spirituality and never been into like new age or anything like that. But, you know, he has a good positive outlook on life.
Yeah, the more I see this stuff, it's all risk and reward, right? It's just a trade for what really good information that you can get from psychedelics. It opens up this vast terrain of potential risks. And it's like after the end of it, after your whole phase of doing all this stuff, you maybe initialized or downloaded a couple really useful packages that helped sort you out psychologically somewhere. But the excess chaos that comes with this stuff that goes completely unannounced and you probably won't even notice it for quite a while has passed, can start to do damage, definitely. And that could happen with New Age and just even entertain these ideas. It just got to be normal, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I'd go back 10 years ago, just like, all right, revert, just be normal. It's like, dude, maybe
Yeah.
that would actually turned out better. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everything in your life has a purpose. And like, I don't like the heavy push of psychedelics and like, yeah, everyone needs to be doing it. And like now they're like becoming the like more and more states are like starting to come up with bills and laws to start to decriminalize them and make them legal. And I just I don't think it's going to have like this crazy positive effect that people that are still like heavy in the psychedelic world um uh, are like imagining. Like I just don't think that's going to happen. Like it's not going to change the world and make world like it's going to be like world peace and everything's just going to be this utopia because psychedelics become legal. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's definitely a good thing they're becoming decriminalized. I mean, to think
Yeah, I
you
don't.
would go to jail for this, like selling this shit, like,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, I don't think people should get in trouble uh, for doing drugs at all. Um, and I so like yeah, decriminalization. Yeah, I think that's good. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just very weird times because there are a lot of people that are like very passionate about it and like just completely ignore like the negative effects of it. And like you'll see like every once in a while like some like Instagram influencer being like the best thing you can do for yourself is take 5 grams of psilocybin and sit in darkness. Like the there's a good day. It's just like, dude, that's the fucking worst advice ever.
I mean, we did it and we came out all right, but to suggest that for,
But
just
just
like
put
the
that on the
random,
internet.
yeah,
Yeah,
to have just like that as a baseline, this is a good protocol for the random Joe or
yeah,
Jane is not a good idea. I can imagine giving my mom 5 grams of mushrooms. Just say, Mom, just go sit in bed and just, it's gonna work out. That would be terrible, man. And for most people,
yeah.
actually, really, it would be.
Most people would not be able to handle that. Most people, but not most people, but like, yeah, just that's not
It's
not a
high
good idea.
high risk,
Yeah,
low reward.
yeah,
That's what the psychedelic. That's the profile of it. That if it was categorized anyway, it's high risk, low reward. Because at the end of it, some profound realization that you're gonna get in 3 days, it's gone.
yeah,
And then you're gonna feel, oh, I had this profound thing that I forgot about, and oh, I gotta try it again, and that initialized the cycle of thinking that there's some, because now you're starting to back up your actual tangible lived experience with the sensation that, okay, now I really have to figure this out because I had this crazy trip the other day, so I got to try it again and like go back in and figure something out. And that's almost just as, that maybe is worse than the new age, because now you're backing it up with like a chemical
yeah,
addiction.
yeah. I mean, to certain degrees, I would say it's worse because it can just get people like so far out there, and like I know people that like still just like do them all the time, and it's not that they're like miserable, but they also like don't seem like happy all the time, and then they just like keep doing psychedelics to like try to fill this void, and it's like that's not going to fix your problems. Like the problem is you keep doing these substances trying to fill these voids in your life, and they're never going to fill the void in your life.
Yeah. I mean, but that's like also like one of the most annoying answers to hear when you're like that far, you're so close to like the your next big thing. It's like that's like the number one thing you don't want to hear. It's like, no, I gotta do one more trip, bro. It's like, this one's gonna be the one.
Yeah, well,
So
it's not
this one's
not
gonna
going to be the
save
one.
me. Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I used to have that mentality, and it just like didn't ever really do anything. Like, oh yeah, that you'd be like, oh yeah, that make yeah, okay, I figured that out. And then it's just like I said, you just like forget about it, or you don't properly integrate those things into your life, and you just like keep looping back to doing it again because you figure that one thing out, so they think you'll be able to figure another thing out, or yeah, you just like become like you just start to become very dependent on it. Instead of just like learning to navigate your life in like a more sober state of mind, and like just starting to understand yourself and like the energetics of yourself. Like, oh, why am I feeling this way? And then just like asking yourself questions and kind of getting to the bottom of things. You don't need a psychedelic to figure it out. You just have to ask yourself the right questions.
Yeah, in many ways, there's the real life human operating system, the day to day, and then there's the super far out psychonaut, crazy electromagnetic universe operating system. And I don't know, perhaps our inclination is to want to figure that one out more than the regular human meat suit one. That was certainly my problem. But that is something. I mean, with the psychedelics, it does feel like every time you take it, you're making progress. Like that's when I was
Yeah.
taking them a lot, that's what I felt like. I'm making progress in this little arena of my mind. You learn little new skills each time you take it. You like something's happening and you can start to slowly control it and like, okay. But like I said, after a few days, it goes away and then you're like, well, back to reality and this place sucks. So let me pop another tab or do whatever
Yeah.
else. It just, I don't know. Maybe I could take it again and I would probably totally lose all, idea of how to navigate
Yeah.
that realm again. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
really don't care to
Yeah.
take it anymore.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I don't have the too much of an interest. Who knows? Maybe in a 3 or 5 years, be like, yeah, you know what? Let's just see what it's like. And then you'd probably be like, well, that was interesting, but now I know why I haven't done it in so long. Like, that's what I feel like when it's, if I'm like, when I'm like, I wonder, like, every now that I've been like, I wonder what it'd be like if I smoked weed again. And I'd be like, it'd probably be kind of interesting, but as soon as I fit it, like, as soon as I did it, I would be like, I kind of regret doing this.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. It's kind of weird to have no longer any attachment to these things that used to once be pretty normal.
Yeah.
Like smoking a J, rolling up, popping a tab, getting creative, doing whatever. That was the thing. And now, I mean, it couldn't be a less interesting thing to do with my time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, for me, I'd say it's like less interesting, but I just like, I don't have that desire. And I just, like I said, I feel, like you said, that high risk, low reward. It's just like, it's just not going to be super rewarding. It's like, probably be like kind of fun because, like, yeah, like psychedelics, or I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they are fun. That's why that's part of the reason why I was doing them so much, because it was like fun. It's like you get cool visuals, you're like opening up your mind and like just kind of like traversing your internal world in ways that you hadn't done before. But then it's like once you do it, then you like kind of already, then you can kind of do it not on them. And at my time in my life, I just don't have the desire for them. And I think we said it in the last podcast where we were just talking really about psychedelics is like if you are doing them, like probably once a year is like the max you need to do it.
There is this sense to it where you feel that like more is more, but it's really not. Less is more in the case of
Yeah,
psychedelics.
yeah, yeah. It's like even doing it like once every 3 to 5 years is probably even more impactful because it just lives more of your life, you have more experience. It'll probably hit you differently instead of like doing it like so many times throughout 1 year where it's just like you never fully get to like kind of bring that experience in your life because you just on to the next trip, on to the next trip, on to the next trip.
Yeah, it intrinsically feels like psychedelics are some type of opening and closing mechanism. So, closing a chapter in your life, opening a new one, that's where they're useful. But these days, I think a lot of people, myself included, was almost using them as a type of fuel source. And for me, weed as well it was very much a psychedelic. I smoke weed.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean, maybe it activates the same part in my brain, but I might as well be on LSD. If I'm smoking weed, it's really like
yeah.
that too.
And it's really like the belief you have about the thing, which will make it like kind of in a way have a certain effect on you too.
Yeah, and so much of it is invisible. And I think that often our need to understand it does, like you said, come from that fear center. I have to understand it. I have to figure it out. I have to know about it. Where's it coming from? And if you let the majority of the things just kind of be, man, I mean that's like actual peacefulness. Don't want to be ignorant about, obviously, but I
Yeah.
mean, so much of even the health movement is really just all this like paranoia around like seed oils, they're gluten, or
Oh
I don't
man,
even know what it is.
the health, yeah, the health stuff will also make you go absolutely crazy and like put you in thought paralysis because you're like, uh, can I eat anything? Like one person say this is bad, another person say this is bad. It's like everything's bad to some person.
That's why I felt when I was a vegan, man. It's like I can't eat anything anymore because even if I get this romaine lettuce, oh man, it's organic, but now organic doesn't mean anything because it's just a label because big pharma is doing some other thing, and then it's just fear, 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 fear. You know,
Yeah, it's
because
just like, yeah,
now I
you
can't
just
drink tap water, or all my produce is now You know, even if it's organic, it was grown in tap water, and now what can I eat? And oh my gosh,
Yeah,
man.
there's pesticides in all your, you know, fruits and vegetables and da da da. And, just yeah, it's a lot of waking up in. It's just like I don't know, just try to eat the best you can, and then like while you're eating your food, just like really enjoy it.
Yeah, it really makes me think of this whole concept of the test. So, in every second of our life, we're being tested to see how well we do on the particular, given like subject array that we're being tested for. And it seems like in my experience, so much of these tests really do revolve around like the fear that we give things. So if as long as you just don't fear whatever you're doing and you're authentic about not having the fear, you pass the test. And it's really that way with so many things. Like, I don't know. I mean, have faith in the higher power. Do not fear. It's like maybe that is the main commanding mechanism that we need to learn to develop more to design our lives consciously. Because so much of the things that are bad that happen to us really just come from our fear of some other like bad thing that's going to happen after the bad thing. And that starts that chain of negativity.
Yeah,
So that it's almost like another action that you can apply to your other process there where it's collapsing the story. If you can collapse the fear starting chain, then there's nothing to fear after it.
so easier said than done. But just kind of like just gotta be like practice it and kind of be aware of your thoughts and how you're acting, and you start to catch yourself quicker. Like maybe it takes you 5 minutes to realize that you've been like looping in the whatever thought, and then after a few months, maybe it's like 4 minutes, then it's 3 minutes, then it's 2 minutes, and then eventually it's like it starts to happen, and you're just like you just stop it right away.
Yeah, I mean, it really is all about understanding the human operating system like that. Because oftentimes those
Yeah,
things they really do escape you. You'll get lost in a thought, and the time will delay, and something will happen, and then 5 minutes later you'll catch yourself. And so for that period of time, your consciousness kind of is directed at a different location while you're being
yeah.
directed. It's like you're split. It's like
It's a very yeah,
how
yeah.
can you be aware
It's
of
a
that happens? It's weird.
it's a very like weird feeling when you like realize it, because yeah, it's like kind of out of your body, like it's like more out of your body, and then you're like, "Whoa, I've been thinking about this." And you like snap back, kind of like that's kind of one of the things that I've noticed when I do like that sitting practice is like sometimes like I don't can't, like I'll drift off into a thought, and then like I don't realize it, and then like a minute into it, I'm like, "What the like fuck?" I've been like in this thought, and then it's like, boop, you like kind of like zap back in. So like it kind of is like a splitting.
Yeah, you have your main screen, your main
Yeah.
window interface, and then a thought becomes
Maybe
like open up a Chrome tab, and it's like you're in that now. It's
yeah.
like bloop, oh,
Maybe that's what that dream I had was about. I had this like really weird dream. It's the first time I ever had a dream where like I could see myself. It was like I like split. It was like two me's, and I was like sitting in a bathtub, but I was like, and it was just like me talking to me, like looking at myself, and then it was just like kind of like in the dream it was like, oh, you finally did this, and then I was like, well, I'm doing this, and then it was like, then it's just like, then it stopped, and I was like, what? And I was like, whoa, that was crazy.
kind of like you unlocked a new like
Yeah,
characteristic
like
of your consciousness or something to do that
and like
ability.
yeah, it felt like I'm like yeah, I'm like locked this like new level like in the dream world, and that's the only time that's ever like it hasn't happened again. It was just a very odd feeling because it's like I looked at myself and like realized it, but it was like so quick that like I didn't really get to like fully take it in. But I just like realized it was happening, and then I just like switched to like a different scene in my dream.
I mean, when you think about it, it makes sense because what you're doing is you're collapsing the story of like projecting yourself out there and then
Yeah,
coming to some like stopping point where you just like you're flat with yourself. And then if you practice being flat, your consciousness naturally will start to point back at you. And I guess that's what I like to call the internal world. I've had a few things that are kind of similar to that too, man. Just like the self, like it really is the self at the end of the day. Self is everything. And we're just making up
yeah,
our own self all the time. So, I mean, esoterics and all this occult stuff, it's probably real at that level because when you access those abilities, man, you're like, what is reality right now? Because that, for that function to happen, it makes the reality even more strange.
yeah,
Like, now I really don't know what's going on.
yeah. I mean, it is definitely strange, and that's why it's like it's so strange here. You've got to like ground yourself and just not getting into all the strangeness because it's just it's just not going to like ever fully grasp it. It can be fun to think about from time to time, but like yeah, it also will make you go a little crazy.
Yeah, with each new realization, it gets more strange and it cancels out the previous strange. And then, we're always resting somewhere at some
Yeah,
strange coordinate. And
yeah,
that's why packaging it, labeling it, and turn it into a new age philosophy. And it's this exactly never cuts it because it's not.
yeah,
So the new age is the new agenda. If there's an agenda, maybe there is, maybe there's not. There's multiple
yeah,
agendas going on.
yeah. Probably it's all just keep every keep us distracted and invert things and yeah, whatever. It's interesting. Definitely feels like we live in a simulation.
Yeah, each day it's feeling more like it. I mean, it seems like just a few days ago we were celebrating the new year, and now it's already 1 month has closed, and bloop, we're at
Yeah,
February 1st. It's like, whoa,
yeah. I mean, if yeah, if you just like observe, just like what's going on, like certain things are going on in the world, just like this is just it's just a script. It's like a movie. It's almost comical sometimes,
yeah, I'm thinking about that a
especially
lot.
yeah, especially like I mean, I don't really pay attention to politics anymore, but like if you're ever like at a place and they have like the news on or something and you just like listen to it for like a couple minutes, you're like, this shit is not real.
I mean, even the way they talk,
Like
they
yeah,
talk in that sort of monotone. I can't even
yeah,
reproduce it, but they talk at that very. Today, this
yeah,
happened. It's like,
yeah. It's
what are
like
you talking about? Who
yeah,
talks this way,
happening
man?
now in the Middle East. We still have a war going on.
Today we have
The U.S. is
73
backing up.
shootings.
Yeah,
It's just like they'll say the craziest stuff in this
yeah.
monotone
And it's just
voice. Like, what are you talking about?
it's just like how I don't know. Okay, I know a lot of people now are kind of like aware to the fact that it's just like all BS, but the people that just fall for it, like, how can you not see this? Just like scripted BS. Like it's not real. It's like it's just yeah, it's interesting.
It is like it's whatever God you want to worship. Like the news for some people is their authority figure, which they deem as the ruler of their life. It's not even conscious. It's just like gotta watch Fox News.
Yeah, I mean it's programming. It's literally programming. It just it's it it is TV programming, and it is programming the mind of the watcher to, you know, have these certain ideas and viewpoints, and then that like shapes their worldview, and then you get like millions of people who think like Donald, like Trump is the devil and going to destroy the United States, and it's like stuff like that. Just all sorts of weird stuff.
And then some people think he's the savior. And so it's even
Yeah,
weird how it also, the narrative draws off that good, evil. It's like this or it's that. The
yeah,
extremes, and like you're
yeah. It's always
sorted
split
into
two
one.
ways.
Yeah. That is weird when you think
Yeah,
about it. The news is literally like that. They're splitting things two ways. You never hear an opinion that they all consensusly agree on. It's always they'll take one thing, split it. All right, this news station. All right, split this topic. All right, you guys take that side. All right, you guys take that side, and it's like that for everything. I don't know any young person today that watches the news, and I think they're better for it.
yeah. I mean, I personally don't know people, but like, well, that's not true. I do know like some people that I'm like, I know them, I'm not friends with them, or like more of like an acquaintance and stuff. Like definitely during the pandemic, where people are like posting like CNN quotes and like videos and stuff. I'm like, damn, I didn't know you were like, I didn't know you were an idiot. Like I thought you knew better. Like, how are you falling for this stuff? Oh, CNN saying this.
Well, that's what it is. The fear people feel will inevitably show where they sit at with everything. That was like the greatest blessing of 2020 is it showed everyone, at least in my life, where they're all at consciously. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
like, okay, I mean, I'm really alone here. It's like, well, I already knew that,
yeah,
but it's nice to
yeah,
actually know. And there'll be more
yeah,
events that are like that too, I guess. It'd be pretty hard to pull off the next one. It seems like they got to wait another 50 years to get a new run of people in, before
yeah.
they can start
The
another one.
next thing, if they do something else, it'd probably be like the alien invasion or something like that.
Yeah, and then all the new age people, they see it's our
Yeah,
Aryan,
I mean, like,
star
you,
seeds are coming to save
I
us.
would think that would be the next one because it's like they just been like pumping kind of that like thought into like the public for the last few years, and like then it's just like subverted through all like the new age spirituality and the truther community and all that stuff. So it's like there. It's just like, will they do something like that, or is it going to be some like you know big natural disaster or whatever?
Yeah, it seems like the next thing is going to be those two. There's really no other option it could be. It's basically
Some
what it's going to
climate
be.
change thing or
Yeah.
some alien invasion.
Or isn't California supposed to sink, and break off from the U.S. and be an island and then go underwater or something? Or no, New York is supposed to do that too. So that's coming, I guess.
Or nothing will happen. It'll just keep saying stuff and just you know get people in thought cages.
Yeah, that's always another trick in their book too, is to convince us that something's about to happen and then just kind of delay it and nothing happens to
Yeah,
get everyone all bent out of shape and like be in that preparing mode. Because that's also another form of a cage. I mean, you don't even have to do anything; just loop them in that mode where they feel like something's about to happen. That's almost like more torturous in a way,
yeah,
because then it feels like every day it's going to happen. I mean, in 2021, that was when it really started to feel that way. It's like any day now they're gonna start again, and the army's gonna show up, and they're gonna all inject us, and it's gonna start right away. It's gonna happen so fast you didn't even know it's gonna happen, and boom, we're gonna be in a war. Never happened.
yeah. There's gonna be a civil war in the United States.
Oh yeah, that's those are the three options now. A civil war is gonna happen, climate change or the aliens.
Yeah,
That's their playbook.
yeah. Well, we'll see because if Trump wins again, which I think would be hilarious, but I mean, people will probably be melting in the streets because their brains can't handle it.
Yeah, well, these guys had at my local coffee shop here talk every morning about it would be jumping for joy.
Yeah, some people will be very happy, and other people will literally be like, "Oh, how is this fucking possible? This is insane." Ah. It's like, do you finally understand that it doesn't fucking like it's all rigged, like it's all staged? No, you still don't get
My team won.
it.
That's
Like
what it
you
is, man.
still yeah, like this. Like I thought after like Biden won and just been president, people would finally be like, "Oh, the president of the United States like really just kind of sucks and doesn't really mean anything." But nope. I mean, there are people like that, but there are still people who are like, "He's doing such a great job and he's amazing," and da, da, da. And like, yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I think they're gonna like make Trump president again. It's gonna like make people just go absolute. People will love it, and then there's some people who go like absolutely ape shit, and it's just gonna it's like another way to just psychologically and emotionally just fragment the shit out of people's minds.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's prepped now this year for whatever happens, something crazy is going to happen. It's like it'll be clearly, obviously rigged, and that will create a bad outcome. Or it'll be Trump, which is collectively probably the most like consensuously agreed upon. This should be the next president, at least in terms of who I'm paying attention to, what they're talking about. So Trump's going to win. And like either outcome happens, it's just like people are going to go insane. And then there's people who are like us, they're like, don't you see the whole game? It's, oh my God. So whatever happens, man, is it's maybe that is the start of the Civil War. Who
Yeah, I
knows?
don't. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, but I don't know. Probably be entertaining to watch.
Whatever it is, there's always going to be someone who's got something to say about it, and people have
Yeah,
strong opinions about things which they don't understand,
yeah,
much like the New Age.
yeah. Very strong opinions.
Trump is a galactic 15th dimensional starseed, and he's here to bring
Yeah,
upon the new Tesla technology and recovered from the Archons, and he's going to save us. It's like there's people
yeah,
that talk about this stuff, and I'm like, dude, what the heck is
yeah.
going on with you?
I've been tapped into the Akashic records, so I know these things.
You don't.
It's like I'm a Palladian. I come from the 17th star system.
Maybe that's got to be our new marketing ploy.
Yeah,
we gotta create like a more elaborate backstory on why we have the
yeah,
codes and
yeah.
run with that.
We came here from the Zoltan solar system.
Yeah, I had some chick. She said she did my graph where she said I'm like Arcturian or something, and read off this basic description of what the Arcturians do and what they're meant. They're like these highly whatever. It's like, dude, this is again, it's the astrology thing. You can create these really vague descriptions describing any type of person that would
Yeah,
fit over top of it. And it's like, oh, that's
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
It's just a
yeah.
more
People get
elaborate personality test with mystical words and fancy images, and you're
it's like, can't you
special.
just? Yeah, yeah. You're not special. You're just like everyone else for the most part. But yeah, people love to say that I'm not from here. And da, 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 da.
It's just a beginner mentality. It's stuff that comes and goes. It's normal. You'll grow out of it, type shit.
Yeah,
At least we hope you.
yeah.
You may
Some
not.
people don't. Yeah, some people like that's becomes their whole identity.
That's insane.